Alright guys, 2012 Honda Pilot here. Same process for any Pilot. We're gonna change the caliper. The reason why we change the caliper is because the brake is finished out. Here's the brake pad I took out from the other side. Oh no, not this one right here. This one right here still has a lot of life compared to that one right there. So we got a new caliper right here. I'm gonna show you guys how to change this caliper on a 2012 Honda Pilot. It's the same process. And bleeding is something that you have to check on another video. You do have to bleed it. So the tools you need is a 12 millimeter for this little guy right here. So we're gonna turn this counterclockwise and remove this guy right here. We got a compressed tool. We really don't need it because I was working on the other side. So once you remove one bolt, I do want to loosen this bolt, which is a 14 millimeter. So we're gonna need a 14 millimeter. I just want to loosen this, okay? I don't want it to leak on me, so I'm gonna tighten it back up a bit. But it's gonna be easy for me to remove that later on, okay? And then after that, what you want to do is, if you want to take off this bolt too, great. But we're only gonna work with the 2 bolts here. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna remove that too because it's kind of giving me a hard time to get the caliper out of the way. So let's remove that bolt also. So remove both. So prep your new caliper the same way. Remove both bolts. You don't want to yank too much on that line. Let's move this out of the way. We don't need that. And now we should be able to just get this caliper out of the way. So usually the caliper itself is what's going to kill the brakes. Here it is. Brakes are done. Look at that. So we're going to remove this bracket as well. So if you want to get I'm going to show you the part number on that caliper. So this is 17 millimeter. So I'm going to remove both 17 millimeters here. Okay, there you go. So once I have both of these out, our bracket should just come right off. Let me loosen the other one too. Ah, there you go. And I know I'm moving the camera around too much, but that's what it is. To get the camera angle, you're gonna have to go in there so you can focus. So there is like a washer behind this between the bracket and the hub. So make sure you don't lose that, because if you lose that, forget about it. Your brake pads are gonna be uneven. Your caliper is gonna sit uneven. Your rotor is gonna die, overheat, all kinds of stuff is gonna happen there. But anyways, let's get this out of the way. One. Okay, that one's kind of stiff. Let's get our tool a little bit more to remove this bolt out of there, and your bracket should just come off. We're gonna put that to the side. So what are we gonna do is, so just to let you know, when this caliper is mounted, this bleeder wall has to be up on the top. It can't be in the bottom, okay? Because then it's for the opposite side, for the other side, because you will never bleed that. So the part number here, it is 9900967B for the passenger driver side, and new yield. That's the brand. We're gonna put that new caliper on next. So all I'm gonna do is make sure the 2 washers are still back there, they don't fall. Okay, they sit behind this bracket here, but it's like a sandwich between the spindle and the caliper. So the new caliper goes on. We're gonna take this bolt. I'm gonna show you guys the torque spec on this at the end of the video, but right now I'm gonna just hand tighten it. So once I catch the 2 bolts, so now it's a 14 millimeter on this, so we can use a 14 millimeter to remove both bolts. And we're gonna cut the caliper off. The bracket stays on. Okay, you can even do that You know what? We'll let it hang like that. That's perfect. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tighten both of the bolts in the back. Then I'm gonna tighten it to torque spec, and I'm gonna come right back. First, I am gonna get this guy snug, okay? And I'll get you torque specs on all the bolts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to torque these, and I'm going to come right back once they're torqued. But let me snug these right now. Okay, get it by hand. So I'm going to just give it a little yank. So I'll be able to torque these, and I'll be right back. Okay, once that done is, it's gonna come with the new hardware. You gotta install this new hardware, but prior to putting this on, what I like to do is I like to grease up the surface so it's never metal to metal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. I'm gonna take a light amount of greasing. I got a video just on the greasing that I use. So very light amount down here, each corner. Where this bracket, this hardware is going to sit, and the reason is so you don't have any squeals, squeaks, none of that stuff. So this thing goes right in. Make sure you center it and squeeze it right in. It should not hit your rotor, okay? No scraping, no sounds like that. So we're going to do the same thing for this little guy here. Make sure it's in the center. If you need to look at it right from the center, do so. Perfect, perfect. You can't go wrong, okay? After this, we're gonna put the brake pads on, okay? You see this brake pad right here? It has a brake wear indicator. It has to be on the back end and the bottom, so when the rotor goes reverse, it will make the noise to give you an indication the brake pad is done. So inside the box, if you buy original brake pads, so this customer went and got original brake pads, there's a part number right there. It's gonna come with the hardware. So each pad is gonna get a shim, backing plate, whatever you want to call it. I like to put a little bit of grease here and a little bit of grease here. I'm also gonna put grease here, but once the pad is installed. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this brake pad, brake wear indicator sensor facing down. Okay, and then your brake pad should, sometimes you're gonna have to push on the hardware because it's not perfectly flush yet, but once the pad goes in, it will push it up and push it down. Okay, so I'm gonna get the next pad. Okay, same thing. Okay, a lot of people like to put greasing under this. I don't do that, but that's why I use it in the back. So you see either or, but if you don't even want to grease, a lot of people don't like grease because it collects dust, but it's always important so you can move freely and smoothly. Okay, this is a brand new caliper. If you just change the brake pad, make sure you clean everything. So this pad goes on next, and this guy is gonna go in just like that. Okay, so we're pretty much done. So what I want to do now is I want to put a very light amount of grease. You can put it on the caliper itself so you don't make a mess in back of this. Pretty good idea right there, because we're gonna hold this with our hand because we still got two retainers, very important retainers. If you don't put these retainers on, your brake pads are not gonna have, it's like a spring loaded retainers. So one goes in the hole here, one goes right there. You do need to hold this brake pad in position so nothing moves on you. Up there you go, everything moved on me, so I'm gonna have to redo it one more time. I'll just sit down here and do it, but I need to get the brake pad back in there. This can happen to you, but that's fine. You just redo it. There you go. So I'm gonna get one and one in. My hands are kind of slippery, so I'm gonna start off on the top one because I don't need to be focused on the top one later on. We're gonna get this one in, and then the bottom one. Make sure you get it into the slot. Once you have it, it should just stick right into the groove. All you're gonna do is you're gonna hold this caliper. It's gonna be a little tricky. I'm grabbing it from both sides. This guy's gonna go right on. Okay, make sure it doesn't fall back out. So I'm gonna get the new bolt that we took off. So we're gonna tighten both of these. I'll get you the torque specs. So 14 millimeter. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna tighten both. You always want to double check, even though they come tight. You want to double check both bolts. So I'll be right back. Okay, now the hard part and the critical part. Okay, so we're gonna remove this little guy right here. It comes with 2 crush washers. Very important to put them on. Okay, we're gonna start off one. We're gonna put this down. We're gonna remove one, and I'm gonna save it here, and I'm gonna leave one on, just like that. We have to get this line off. Okay, remember it's loose for us. Once it's off, we're gonna take that bolt, put it right through, but make sure the old crush washers come off. So here goes nothing. This guy's you're gonna start to get fluid out of this. That's fine, no problem, no worries. Okay, remember this was loose for us. You're gonna have a lot of fluid come out of this little guy. Come on. It's good for the fluid to come out because it's gonna bleed itself. But then after that, you do need to pump the brake pedal and bleed once everything is completed. So that comes off. I do need to take off the old crush washer of this, which I need to tap on. That's what I'm doing here. I'm tapping this guy because it's stuck to it. Oh, what am I doing? We have a new bolt. Forgot that we have a new one here. So what you need to do here is make sure the surface is clean. Usually it's never dirty, but make sure you clean it. One crush washer's right there, the other one's here, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna catch the threads here. Okay, but if you was reusing the old one, you would have to remove it. You have to remove the old washer, and this guy goes in. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing back here in a few seconds, and then I'm gonna snug it, and then after that, all you need to do is open the bleeder valve. First pump the pedal and have somebody help you bleed it. Then pump it, and then you release the fluid out. Anyways, let me show you what's down there. Okay, so this is perfectly done, and the new bolt is different size. I'm gonna get the correct size. So I went and got 11 millimeter. That's what it is, and then you're gonna tighten it to the proper spec. I'm gonna just snag it for now, and make sure you clean it with the parts cleaner. And thank you for watching my video. Make sure double check your bolts, double check all your bolts. Make sure this line is nice and straight, it's not curled up. Make sure this is tight, this is tight, this is tight, and nothing is leaking here. Pressure test it by just pushing the pedal, clean it off, and nothing should leak. Anyways, thank you for watching my video on this caliper. So here we are on the 2 bolts on the caliper itself. The little ones are 65 foot-pound. I'm sorry, that's the bracket, the 17 millimeters. Okay, they're 65 foot-pound. The 2 little bolts are over here. Okay, right over here, they're 25 foot-pound each. The bolt for the line, the flange bolt right here, is 25 foot-pound. The bleeder valve is a 6 foot-pound, and that's everything, guys. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. See you guys on the next video.